they don't necessarily know that, but they're going to be able to spot things like the Takeda between the only other Takeda in the lobby. Here's probably the most important fight for Alliance right now, going up against JL. Unfortunately as well for Bo, he has yet to find a weapon. He's just going in with fists. At the moment, he's kicking. His team's trying to make the space for him. He has managed to find a hit onto JL's TXJ, and that is going to be Alliance, even though one of their players is down a weapon, now has a dagger to be able to come in with the charge LMV and put pressure onto VVV, and they will be able to live it. This is the huge thing. Alliance had the Z thing, so with that sustainability, we're able to keep Bo alive long enough for the other two teammates to be able to create space, as opposed to the Karumi, who when you're using Tether, you can't actually fight because it breaks the tether early.
What an absolutely amazing start there for Alliance. They needed that as well. That's going to give them confidence. They're going to be able to get the loot for themselves and then look for more action. Meanwhile, Bloodbath, as everyone is trying to put points together, deny points from Alliance are just breaking out. Wolves versus DRG going toe-to-toe. Lovely little knockback there from WFZ on to EG and his other teammate, who I can't see off camera. EG goes down. Wolves lose this fight here to DRG, and DRG at the bottom of the table. If they want to win, they have a lot of work to do. Just going to grab some goodies from Wolves and see what they can get. As eyes over to GG, they are still a fair distance from being into MVP position, into match point position, but it is very, very much doable for them. And Bowder are in their sights right now. Now, there is a scare where the team like Bowder get 0 points, and then they've got a whole other game to play before they're in position. But there's something you also got to keep your eyes on, see how well they can actually play this game.
Oh, City of Tang is going to see Bane's Wrath dropped. Looks like it was one of the players from JDH who was actually right on top of Temple and activating that one. Unfortunately, it means that JDG had the time to be able to numbers advantage. And it is going to be ZDI coming in with that Justina ultimate to be able to bypass one of those Bane's Breath hits, using the dashes to keep the pressure as everyone cuts back into the AoE. JDG are able to find the parry and follow through onto Godly before the Bane's Breath hits. Absolutely huge chunk of damage coming on through from the Justina with the dagger, manages to backstep out of being hit by another of those AoE splashes. Unfortunately, he's separated from his Yushan, who has to utilize the ultimate and get that health reset as JJH hops into the Farrier mech and keeps the pressure up onto the players of JDG, knowing that the Justina ultimate is going to be burnt on out. It's just the Farrier against the two. However, the Bane's Breath going to be running out any moment. Chului not able to sit in the same spaces. Surely other teams have noticed the Bane's Breath and come sniffing to see what current teams are fighting. And there it is, confirmation. DRG roll on up. A team with a composition built to third party, and wisely, it's actually the JJH who are the ones that get spotted out. The team that was fighting them backed on off, understanding that a third party would come through, and they did not want to be the ones getting spotted out with those ultimates committed. And it's Bowder now against GG, one of the really important fights for Bowder because they're so close to 74. They get a kill onto 3-3-0. They're able to keep all of their players currently intact. That F3 from Euron doing so much work. The first party comes through from TE, however, the Viper silence means that Euron is not able to use any of his abilities, gets hit by the Tessa V1 enchantment follow-up, gets the parry, but it's not enough. TE with the stellar third party shred the Zai in seconds, and Bowder lose one of their players when they're so close to the 74-point mark.
That is going to be a real stinger for them on that one. KLA getting themselves in this no-ult zone. Down comes the Bane's Breath onto one of their players. Cuckoo is toasted by that one. Lovely little pickup off the back of that. And KLA now down a player. Low health on QGG as well. Are just going to break away. Well, BBE used this Bane's Breath as cover to pick up their teammate. And now they can continue the chase if they wish. But they can also stay within their safety net. Alliance playing this a little bit more tame, obviously very much aware that this is a third-party lobby. The problem for them right now is they've got 3 kills, but you look at JDG, who have 6 kills. I mean, no one's snowballed massively far ahead. That's like their one goodness for them right now, is they don't have to worry too much about the about someone having 10 kills already, and they've got loads of work to catch up. But they do at some point have to pull ahead. They do at some point have to catch up if
that has to
they
be
want to win.
It has to be
it'll
Yang,
the
right? With so many Tesla teams, like, that means that a lot of these teams just do not have compositions meant to take fights inside Realm of Yang. So even if Alliance pull worst case scenario and don't get an isolated fight where they don't have to worry about being third-partied, they might potentially be able to pick up the Vermilion Birds Might and get aggressive off of that, as OUG getting aggressive off of the Viper into Tesla V1 follow through the bookmark of this ultimate is just so detrimental in allowing any form of counterplay. As DRG taking a lot of damage, OUG also have a taking damage and having to Wuchen teleport out. As with that pulse, or just using the charged vertical to be able to keep his momentum going as he turns onto the players, comes in with the F to try and peel for his player who got parried, and as a result takes so much damage with the rage generated. However, he gets another cast off that V1, throws it out to be able to reposition, gets the Soulburn reset off one of the bodies already dropped, and OUG are actually able to do enough damage that DRG are forced to back on off. With that Wuchen teleport, they're able to get Jinyu back up into the fray and use the crouch spam when moving to keep themselves abreast of all of the range projectiles coming through from DRG, who wanted to stop that revive from going through. The bell rings and round 3 begins yet again. SS interrupted before the Scouts can come through and dodge that Tesla V1. He gets another of his own, however, to be able to throw on out. But DRG are going to be able to potentially catch on to the Tesla, who comes in with the first charge on the vertical on the pulse sword to be able to play off of the stagger. Viper now coming into play with the ultimate yet again. XI using the jumps to try and weave around the damage coming on through, and DRG off of the back. Silence will be able to take OUG down, and like you said, OUG are knocked well and truly out of the lobby. That was their second life as the first Realm of Yang start to spawn up. Crucially, do we see Alliance start to head over to 1, or are they still playing full passive survival mode? We haven't yet seen them up overhead. Yeah, they're incredibly good because they were the only ones who got to loot around all of Yushan Ruins and Cliff, as now they can potentially push onto a Realm of Yang. They are really close to one. They don't know that it's uncontested. But surely they have to make a move in, right? They have to know that teams around them are getting kills.
I'm sure they're concerned that they might get jumped. That's like the only thing I can think of, but they need to get inside this round.
They're heading
7 kills.
They're full heading in plumed.
Now, what are they doing?
Unless they kite over to Bell to ring it and get the information, or maybe they want to, like you said, go to the dealers with all of the money that they just picked up. But this is still like chancing it on the fact that they don't get interrupted trying to go into that Realm of Yang portal that they're so close to.
Oh, I'm not a fan of this from Alliance. I really want to see this aggression. This is their opportunity. They've got a good team for the Realm of Yang. They're very, very geared up. DRG are running away with this game. They need to start getting some points on the board. They need to start getting some buffs and some kills. But right now, they are playing it as safe as they possibly can. Grab comes in onto LYD here. JJH able to pick that one up. Wuchen out. This is the power of the Wushens right now. They just completely undo the monk. If someone's grabbed, you can blink out to safety and get away from that one. Realm of Yang's now spawned up.
Come on, Alliance.
There's one name I want to be seeing inside that.
Same. Yes!
They're in! There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Right.
Yeah, but it's the worst case scenario, Jake. All of these compositions around them are just not designed for Realm of Yang fights. One of the teams that could potentially, with the Transformer, is currently being griefed by TE in the open world. And as a result, yes, Alliance are going to be able to potentially pick themselves up Vermilion Birds Might, which will enable them for the next 180 seconds to go incredibly aggressive. It means that they don't get to take a fight. That they don't have to worry about being third-partied. Okay, no, they do. Alliance and GG go head-to-head. GG just waiting the longest time they possibly could so that they don't go up against one of these super scaled up teams. This is going to be so important for Alliance. They need these free kills. They need to be able to find a win with the Sand Siphon when they don't have to worry about getting third-partied. Alliance's bow coming in with that Takeda F, looking to activate it so that people don't understand and throw the blue his way. Gets interrupted by the Farrier V3. Drop down, however, has to reposition with that fan, looking to set the Scourges up and find a connection as cleanly as quickly as he possibly can, as they see that GG have put all of their ultimates in, and the Sand Siphon looks to try and kite as long as they possibly can to live this initial explosion of damage coming through from GG and win the neutral afterwards. Revenge going incredibly low is not going to go down, and until now. The Yushan with that ultimate putting so much pressure onto these players. Peripheral still inside that mech, making it even harder for Alliance to try and formulate any form of sustain right now. Someone gets parried. It looks like it's Alliance's bow. LXM coming in on the backside with the charged vertical to put into the spine of Alliance. You can't parry with eyes in the back of your head. And unfortunately, it looks like Alliance might go down. Bo is able to find the turnaround kill onto GG's 3-3-0. LXM also falling incredibly low, having to look for the light clanks, but with a slipe coming through on the pulse, Alliance's lane's going to be able to take the fight. But CJS with one horizontal light hit from the pulse sword deals the damage necessary to dispatch the last player on Alliance, and GG win it. But crucially, Alliance were able to even up some of the kills, and they're not going away empty-handed.
They played that very, very well, but that, like you said, it was just an explosion of damage, and it was Revenge just couldn't break away. He was being constantly staggered and constantly bursted, and they were just throwing out as much healing and trying to keep them up as long as possible. But unfortunately, they do go down, and that is a massive problem for Alliance now. They wanted to get the 3 kills and then translate into Vermilion's Bird Smite and then play aggressive off that. Now they find themselves running around the map, looking for a revive and then going for a kill. It looks like they're on top of another team who's also reviving. It's JL. It might just be immediately Alliance versus JL here, fighting at the respawn. They need to just get this kill as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think they have Soul Bloom stashed. Because they did take a fight. Remember, they had 3 kills before they headed into that Realm of Yang, and they did spawn up here. So I'm pretty sure that they have bodies stashed. The problem is, like, they're immediately going to have to take a fight against another team that's respawning here. So hopefully Alliance are able to win it. Otherwise, they're out of this lobby for good early. And that is not how they want this game to end when they're the only teams potentially walking away with that MVP. They get a good hit onto JL's VVV. They're pressuring this Takeda as quickly as they possibly can, trying to force that Zip into popping the ultimate and keeping him healed up. Bo comes in with his own Takeda ultimate activation to knock JL's TXJ further back, but gets caught up inside the tumultuous. The Zip ultimate kicks in, but it's for the wrong team. Alliance's bow goes down, and oh no, the dream is turning into a nightmare as Alliance without that Takeda have to try and scatter and live the remaining shoves coming up through from VVV. He still has 1 left. He comes in with the purple staff and is able to find the connection onto Alliance's lane. The jump horizontal to keep the damage chasing onto the last player of Alliance, and they go out of the lobby. No, Jake, we're guaranteed to go another game.
Absolute madness that happened, and this is now the opportunity for all these other teams to catch up. Bowder, all they need is a multiplier. They'll be happy. They've got 8 kills. They're actually closing up even more at this point. Absolutely enormous performance by them. You got GG, who should be closing in as well. Still gonna have a lot of work to do though if they want to get into that 74-pointer. Have to be a good end to this game. Everybody else also closing in on a potential Game 7 MVP, but Bowder very, very, very close to actually taking it all here today. 16
Crucially not
minutes left
with
on
Yang
the game.
depletion either.
Yeah, no more Yang depletion. Yang spawning up again relatively soon, once that wears off. So I expect to see more action on that front. Yeah, we've got a bit of time, though. A bit of downtime. Still, there's 10 teams left in this game. We will actually see Bowder's POV. They're playing that Zai team, the Triple Strike, the Meteor. Need to get an official name for it as BBE. They're just running the wrong team. If I see Wu Shen in a Realm of Yang, I'm like, yeah, you're not built for this, bro. This ain't you. And yeah, Zai very much built for these Realm of Yangs. Incredibly strong in the 1v1 scenario or the 3v3 scenarios. So really good to see.
Did Bowder, they had Vermilion Birds Might, they must have popped it so they could reposition and scout out players and teams surrounding them to see if there's an opportunity that they can come into third party. We are starting to see like that style of play happening more and more, where if you have a Vermilion Birds Might or if you lose a Realm of Yang, you'll send 2 players to actually spawn up while 1 player remains behind and scouts the surrounding area to check like it is safe to look for that revive. Ironically enough, if Alliance had gone for that strategy, they might have been able to scout out that another team was utilizing the Soul Altar, because I don't think they expected it. Like, when we actually saw Alliance spawn up, Bo went for a repair on his weapon instead of instantly engaging. So you can see that they really were not prepared to take that fight. And speaking about taking fights, GG might potentially take a fight, will put themselves inside the realm of Yang. We get to see whether or not another team, JL definitely with a composition, favored to be able to put themselves into one. It's just gonna sit and wait and see if they can potentially get this one for free. Have to be careful that they don't get griefed on entrance though by JDG deciding to show up. Kurumi Teva has already been invested as well, and JDG take the opportunity to slip right past and go head to head against GG. It's gonna be Ice Pick for JDG with that Justina V1. As we can see the gates start to go down and the fight start to break out. ZDI just trying to catch someone with the first charge of vertical on that pole sword as they swing by. Doesn't manage to find a connection just yet. Drops into that ultimate, looking to find a freeze connection potentially onto one of these players. Doesn't manage to catch on to anyone just yet, however, as he's still sitting on the outskirts. Tutic going incredibly low. The Justina trying to follow through with the pole sword, putting this pressure onto the Yodo. LXM forced to utilize that ultimate. The CJS has also gone for the Yushan transformation. That's getting incredibly low. LXM with the Yodo just not able to peel the space. Will be able to find a kill onto Tutic, but unfortunately CJS has gone down. Peripheral is still inside that mech, is going to be able to provide a little bit of support from the rest of the team, as we're going to see LXM with the charge vertical on that fan, throwing it and absolutely frying the health of the Yushan before he's able to drop out of that ultimate. LXM tries to throw the vertical again, but gets parried. Has the F, will be able to utilize it to regain control of tempo, but unfortunately goes so incredibly low. However, it's going to be JDG getting the read, anticipating the vertical charge focus throw out from GG yet again, that are able to survive, live it out, pick up the buff, and send GG back to the soul altar. That is not good for GG. This is a game that they need to pop off on, Jake. This is the game that they need to be able to start accruing these points and making their way to 74.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams you need to do that right now, but as you can see, Alliance out of the running for that MVP spot. The tragic thing is Balder, had they got those extra point or two last game, actually potentially could be set up. They've got 8 kills. JDG is their biggest threat for MVP right now. I say that as if DRG don't have 7 kills, TE don't have 7 kills. It's actually crazy how all of the MVP runners right now are actually at the bottom of the table. The top teams who would like to have these 12 kills, these 7 kills, are the ones who could potentially put themselves onto match point at the end of this game, are realistically going to struggle to do so. GG able to cleanse one of their players with obviously a soul bloom that they left for themselves, but across the board they've got some serious work to do. Massive scrap breaking out here of the southern end of Plume's Castle as DRG and Wolves getting themselves into a fight. GG looking a third party this one, knowing that they've got this debuff on 2 of their players, are looking for an opportunity to strike, jumping into the mix now. As you can see, CJS keeping the pressure up onto EG and ZK, still desperately trying to find an opening where they can actually fully engage into this fight. They have got that opportunity here as LXM slides in, melts through the health bars, has that mech as well as a safety net for ZK to get into, is going to be able to break away. Rocket jumps to safety, and GG now going to keep the pressure up, knowing that that mech has been used, as they are waiting for an opportunity to get onto ZK. Don't want to be trading out too much HP though for this, as Wolves breaking away from this one as effectively as they can. They will be losing that mech at some point, and looks like DRG are able to get the stun off onto ZK. They're going to get a whole bunch of damage onto that mech, and ZK in response. Third party from GG still needs to happen. The mech times out. ZK comes out with pretty much full health, full armor, was able to heal inside the mech as GG now open up on to the members of DRG. DRG are going to be able to separate and get away from GG. GG have 2 minutes left to find themselves these soul blooms. 2 players left to be cleansed here at this point. Very tense moment here for GG. They need this game to go well for them if they want to get themselves close to match point, or if not in match point for game number 6.
Crucially, they're not acting like a team that has Yang depletion though. Like, they're not hard focusing down players that run across them. They haven't all in their ultimates either. So for a lot of these teams on the outside, like observing GG's behavior, they don't really look like a team that's super frantic to take a fight. You would not be able to tell looking from the outside in that this is a team in the situation of almost being under a minute by needing to get a kill or being out of the lobby. Now they're going to have to get a little bit more aggressive. They have been able to run directly on top of Wolves, and it looks like Wolves are the team that they decide to all in. Oh, they've spotted the Monk. Yeah, 100%. This is the team that they want to go for. They're putting the pressure onto the Farrier so that the mech is just not going to be there to keep pressure onto this Yoda by chasing Wolves Jam down. They're trying to force that V3 as quickly as possible. AlexM coming now in with that Yoda ultimate. EG is going to go for the transformation sequence. We're going to see AlexM cancel out of the ultimate early, so he's not going to get grabbed out of it. As you can see, that hand 3 seconds sooner, and it would have been able to plug that Yoda directly into the Monk's hand. AlexM now turning back into the fight. 40 seconds left, still achievable for GG, especially with the amount of damage and speed that the fan can come on out with. AlexM with the charge protocols, looking to collapse onto some of these players from Wolves. The Farrier mech gets dropped for the Yoda, who goes incredibly low. Will be able to hop inside it. Unfortunately for him, though, this means if he gets a kill, he has to give up the mech to be able to grab the bloom, and he's not even going to be able to do that. Wolves with the sustain are going to be able to see him die to the corruption tick damage, as now it's just a 2 versus 1. Poor CJS is about to go down. Surely there he falls, and it's going to be GG potentially, unless they are able to prioritize the one player who was cleansed. They might, however, have done Wolves in from beyond the grave. They say if we go down and you're going with us, that's free. The one player that was able to find a soul bloom, was able to cleanse the Yang depletion, has been prioritized for survival, and GG live on in the lobby trying to make the kill multiplier work. Unfortunately, it's not going to be that massive pop-off game that they needed to instantly elevate themselves into the 74. Now it's just going to be... Nope, he gets spotted.
That is so distressing for them.
HH's POV, and you just see in the bottom right, TE's LYD finds the last player from GG, and they get entirely eliminated from the lobby.
They're one higher up in the placements, though, because they got that play on Wolves, but I think that was actually GG playing that really badly. They were too passive on their aggression when they had a timer on them. Like, that people were kiting away from them, but they took a long time to fully decide on when and where they were going to take that fight. And by that time, you're fighting a Monk team. Monk teams are very good at one thing, and that's stalling for the Monk. You can't kill a Monk quickly, because you're going to have the Ferromech, you're going to have the Peel. It's just so hard to get onto them. So massive fumble, I think, from GG to take too long to take that fight, and then they pick the team which has the stalling capabilities. End out losing out on that one, as we are actually keeping our eyes on DRG, who are potentially set up just to take this whole game, to be honest. They are 7 kills. Sorry, I'm thinking more about TE at this point than JDG, but DRG having a very, very good game right now. Snowstorm breaks up. Great thing about this is, yeah, it's gonna sap the rage of the teams that inside it, but also reset all their troves. So gonna be able to get more grapples, more heals, and stuff like that from those troves. So gonna be nice and effective for these teams off the back of that one.
Has anyone got campfire? Yeah, Biter got campfire, so they don't have to worry about chill meter. They're all cozied up. They've got the s'mores. They've got the fire burning, nice and bright. As JL are able to track down one of the players from DRG. The problem as well is, like, we kind of called this heading into this game with the amount of Tessa, Viper, Wuchang compositions. Everyone sort of cannibalized everyone else's opportunities to be able to come in with these heavy-hitting 20 kill games, right? The kills are very evenly spread. We've got some kills on 10, some kills on 7, some kills on 12. And as a result, all of these teams who were low in the standings, like, yes, they've been able to find kills, but they haven't been able to find the pop-off game needed to instantly cannonball their way up the standings to be able to contest some of these teams already at the top. And with Bauda already qualified past the 74, we know that there are going to be at least 2 teams that have the chance of ending the day early, as we wait and see Baindraft kicking on up. As a result, every single fight toning on down. TE and Barrett are just content to fire away at each other, neither of them really wanting to take a fight, especially since Barrett see an unoccupied Morris Blessing, and entirely uncontested will be able to pick that one up. That is their second pair of legendary armor, and like you said earlier, Jake, They are kicking themselves for those previous games. If they'd been on 74 heading into this game, they might be able to walk away with the MVP and end the game and day early. But unfortunately for them, all of the kills, all of the gear is all for naught. Yes, they might get MVP and an extra money off of it on the side, but it's not going to end the day because it was this game, this match, where they qualified for that MVP eligibility. It was this game they hit 74. And as a result, this is not the time they want the pop-off game. They need to make sure that they don't burn through all of that energy and hit that peak now instead of saving something for later.
Absolutely. They also are very unlucky, but there was a Blood Ripper inside that Mora's Blessing, so not really going to be able to use the weapon from it, but they still got a freebie, so they can't really complain. Free gear off the back of that one, as we are seeing ZDI himself somewhat fired at from the high ground. JDG right now, 13 kills. Having an absolutely splendid performance so far. Definitely going to be playing for a bit of a hang-on at this point as ZDI. Just going to head over, touch the urn. Does not want to be getting himself charmed up. 4 minutes left on the game. 14 players left in the game. So again, you expected a bloodbath. We got a bloodbath, Moxie. It has been a very, very aggressive game, but interestingly, it's been the teams towards the bottom that have really picked up in the tail end of the day. They're the ones who've started to score some points. So even though we're going to be going to game 6, only 2 teams at the moment are going to be playing for the win. Bowder and Alliance. JL, they need to put some serious kills here if they want to try and close that gap. I mean, they're not actually all that far off. A good multiplier and a good placement here for JL, and they could join Alliance and Bowder. So it's within the realm of possibility. They only need 8 more points. There's, oh my word, TXJ coming in with the musket shots. As Tutik was actually able to secure the last kill for him, so he'd set that one up, and Tutik had, Han had dumped that. Beautiful little pick there as TXJ has got that sandstorm available, as he is just going to be jumping up into the trees, making like a squirrel, coming down on top of JDG ZDI, able to secure the kill onto them. Another aerial shot of where everybody's at. 3 minutes left on the clock. All to play for still. VVV with the cannon just firing down onto Bowder on that low ground. Trying to land a couple of additional shots onto them. Unable to really make any major connections off the back of that one. JL need to let this game go in their favor. The end of this game is going to be oh so important for them.
Oh, Yuran gets caught by the Tessa V1. As a result, we actually see Jing invest the Matari ultimate to try and peel for him.
Oh, no.
He runs away directly into the Phoenix coming on through. Comes in with the Zai ultimate activation. Has to burn that F3 to get out of the Tumult ultimate. And I drops on top of his head. Zip heal kicks on up, and Yuran will be able to live potentially a little bit longer. Not sure how much longer, though. Gets that Zip heal coming on out on the reposition. The Karumi ultimate now activating for the Sand Siphon team right in the center as they commit a little bit too much out into the open. See that are probably going to get all in by all of the third-party compositions around them and drop that Karumi ultimate to act as a safeguard. Yuran still incredibly low, having to try and play away. Peak might go for an armor reset drop with the legendary armor as he looks to position a little bit closer to his teammate TE with the Witch and Teleport dropping into the zone, and off of that Corruption 6 damage, Yuran claims the kill onto Leo. Han clearing up the space with that Viper V3, but JL are the ones starting to walk away with the kills. VVV with the fan and the vertical charge up, just managing to absolutely shred WFC in absolute minutes. As it's now going to be VVV getting that heal, throwing out the charge verticals, making sure that everyone on the low ground cannot put their way back on top of the high. And Bowder are actually more than happy with the outcome. They just take a little bit of downtime, get a full reset, and then grapple right back up now that the legendary armor is fully refreshed and ready and round to go into this next fight. They're collapsing onto the players on TEJL, seeing that a fight is going down on the low ground, putting themselves with the grapples into the aerial to stick in the air as much as they possibly can, away from things like the Merciless Havoc and the Zai on the low. Yuran putting pressure with the skill rushes of those dual blades, and Cavalry Bloom looking to catch on to TE's Han, who's able to find a parry onto one of the players from Bowder's Peak, but Yuran waits until the parry punishment animation is gone and finds the interruption with the Cavalry Bloom to try and peel for his player. VVV again with the fan vertical threatening all of the space. The Matari ultimate now coming through from Bowder. VVV taking so much damage, the one touch hit on that pulse, doing so much damage to the Takeda. The heal is going to kick on through. VVV with the F putting himself into the tree. Doesn't get a safe spot. Does manage to charge up the focus strike on the fan, however. Unnoticed. Throws it out. Gets parried by Bowder. Picks it up again. Moves over to that staff. Doesn't have jabbing. Gets hit by the Tessa V1. Has to put himself into the zone so he doesn't get enchant ward into the corruption tick damage. Will be able to get one pot off, but unfortunately it's not enough to reposition away from the first charge
Wait,
of
TE?
that vertical on the pole sword. And now it's TE's LYD versus Bowder's Peak. Who's going to be able to live? LYD with the uppercut confirmation onto Bowder's Peak. The Scarish connection coming on through though from Peak as a result, pushing LYD further into the corruption tick damage. The Test is still holding on to one of the ultimates. Has the fan vertical, throws out the V1 now, connecting onto Bowder's Peak, using the opportunity to catch all of the damage with the fan vertical, managing to put all the pressure onto the Zip, pops the ultimate, but LYD goes out to the corruption tick and poison splash before the Zip goes down. The Zip ultimate kicks up the sedated soul procs